Right, this is, I mean, this has got to be most people's dream, right? Of a bike. I mean, I don't want to give it away. This is a custom painted Cervélo R3, which is the bike that I used to ride the 107 TDF, which I did a couple of years ago, and I've used it for several challenges. So it's pretty sentimental to me. After the 107 TDF, it got pretty battered and scuffed up, so we decided to repaint it and raffle it off. How the paint was done was by hanging the frame up at an angle like this and spinning it on a disco ball motor. We then had a series of catapults and buckets of paint and just fired catapults of paint at the bucket, which has created this sort of marbling, splattering, drippy effect on the paint scheme. The whole frame was like professionally fit sanded and finished and prepared by Gun Control down in Surrey. So basically the original colour was black and they sanded it right back, painted it white, put the black logos on and masked out the logos while we were painting the frame, and then we went nuts with it on the catapults. It's basically built up with the same parts that I had on it from when I was using it. So it's Ultegra Di2. You've got a compact chain rings, 1125 on the rear, and then the finishing kit comes from Pro with Pro Vibe carbon step handlebars, and then I'll say it again. So you've got a set of Pro Vibe carbon handlebars and a Pro Vibe stem, which interestingly is 109mm. This was one that was from Team Sky basically, and has a little sticker saying 109mm on it. The wheels are from Parcours. These are the Strade wheels, a slightly deeper section wheel, designed to be very aero optimized around a wide tyre, and this has been set up with a set of Schwalbe Pro One 28 tubeless tyres, and it is quite literally a work of art. So the common thing that a lot of people ask is what's the difference between the R3, or now R series, and the R5, and there are some very subtle differences that Cervélo did between the two bikes. Namely, the position is the main difference. So the R3 or R series is slightly more relaxed, so slightly bigger head tube. The R5 is obviously the top end race bike, so it's designed to be super aggressive. So kind of in terms of fit, you're probably talking, I'd imagine, 10 to 20mm of spacers difference in how much lower the R5 is compared to the R3. Obviously the carbon layup is slightly different between them. The R5 is Cervélo's top end, so they make it as light as possible, and with the new version of the R5 they've done the R5 Black, which is the lightest version of the R5 as well. They have done things to try and make the R3 and R series a more I guess user-friendly bike as well. So they have standard size seat post, so you want to change the seat post to an inline or a setback seat post, you can do that quite easily. And it's not integrated, so external cablings mean you can run it externally with Di2 or mechanical if you want to quite easily as well. For me, it's Di2 all the time though. So for the last, this is the second time I've done a bike raffle. The first one I painted it in the back of a shed, and Gun Control helped out with painting that bike as well. This one we had a bit of a party and got a load of people together in December on a freezing cold night, 8 pizzas, 8 mince pies, and painted it together, made it a bit of a thing. But the main reason for raffling these off is to fundraise for Movember and the Pace Centre. So Movember, a charity that changes the face of men's health, mental and physical, with support with depression and testicular cancer, for example. Pace is a school that looks after kids with cerebral palsy and other motor-based disorders. They look after 107 kids, which is why so many of my challenges are orientated around that number, 107. And the bike itself, we raffled it off, £10 an entry. You can enter as many times as you want, and the donations were, you could choose whether you wanted to donate to Pace or Movember, and the combined amount that they raised was about £14,000 for the two charities, which, I mean, that's mind-blowing. It's a complete success, isn't it? How am I going to top raffling off this one? We were talking about how to top it after this one. We were talking about how to try and make a better bike to raffle, and the conclusion was explosions. That's where we got to, with some form of explosion. But with the intention is to raffle off another bike at the end of this year. Same thing for Movember and for Pace. Fingers crossed we can do it again with another Cervélo.